The highway outside of Ridge County was a thin, cracked line that sliced through miles of open dust and silence. The last orange hue of the dying sun stretched across the road, painting the asphalt with the glow of a fading fire. At the edge of the town stood a place that never closed, Martha's Diner. A flickering neon sign buzzed over the entrance, half the letters dead, but the smell of coffee and fried bacon was enough to pull travelers in like moths to a dim, warm flame. Inside, the air smelled of old wood and sugar, mixed with the faint tune of an old jukebox, humming a country song about heartbreak and redemption. Behind the counter moved Anna, a woman in her early 30s with deep green eyes that carried a weight she never spoke of. Her hands moved swiftly, refilling cups, sliding plates, smiling through fatigue. There was something about her presence that steadied the room, like calm water after a storm. She wasn't just another waitress. She was part of the diner's heartbeat. Locals loved her. Truckers respected her. Even the sheriff, who came by for his nightly slice of pie, nodded at her with the kind of quiet regard that came only from knowing someone had been through storms and survived them. But none of them really knew her. The scars on her wrists were faint. The burn marks near her collarbone, half hidden under her uniform, told stories no one dared to ask about. She never complained. She just worked, serving others, listening, surviving. The bell above the diner door jingled harshly just after dusk. 3 men entered. Heavy boots, louder voices, the smell of exhaust, and cheap whiskey clinging to their jackets. Leather vests flashed patches with skull emblems. The Iron Vultures, a biker gang known across a few counties, more for their tempers than their talent. At their center walked a tall, broad man with a beard like steel wool and eyes that carried the cold amusement of someone who enjoyed pushing others to fear him. His name was Rex Dalton, known by his men as Rex the Ripper, not for killing, but for ripping apart anyone who disrespected his crew. As they swaggered in, conversations dropped. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Even the jukebox seemed to quiet down, as though the music itself was afraid. Anna looked up, forced her steady smile, and said softly, even in boys, "Coffee, or are we starting with something stronger?" Her tone was polite, even warm. But in her chest, she could feel her heart beating just a little faster. She knew this type, men who tested boundaries just to prove they could. Rex smirked. "Well now," he drawled, running his gloved hand along the counter, "ain't this a fine welcome? Coffee's for priests and preachers, sweetheart. We're looking for something a bit stronger, maybe a smile from you." His 2 friends chuckled like hyenas. Anna didn't flinch. She poured 3 mugs of black coffee anyway, sliding them toward the men with practiced calm. "On the house," she said, "just don't spill it on my floor." Her tone was light, but her eyes met Rex's with a quiet firmness that didn't waver. For a moment, something unreadable flickered in his gaze, maybe surprised that she hadn't looked away, but it passed quickly. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "You got fire, sweetheart. But careful, fire can burn." Before Anna could respond, the door to the kitchen swung open and Martha, the diner's owner, peeked out. She was in her 60s, her silver hair tied back, and her expression was that of a mother hen ready to protect her own. "Everything all right out here?" she asked. Rex smiled, all charm now. "Perfectly fine, ma'am, just getting acquainted." Martha gave him a look that could cut steel, then glanced at Anna. A silent message passed between them. "Stay calm. I've got your back." Then she disappeared again. For the next 15 minutes, the bikers made noise, loud laughter, crass jokes, the sound of boots tapping against the stools. Other customers slipped out, quietly, one by one, until the diner felt hollow except for them. Anna kept her composure, refilling coffee, cleaning tables, pretending not to hear their remarks. She had dealt with worse before, but she didn't know how much longer she could keep it together. Then it happened. Rex reached out suddenly, grabbing the corner of her apron as she passed. "Hold up, sweetheart," he said, his voice half teasing, half threatening. "You got a name tag, but I can't see it." His grip tightened slightly, fingers brushing near her collar. She tried to step back. "Let go, sir," she said quietly, her voice firm but still polite. He didn't. Instead, he tugged, hard enough that the top button of her shirt popped loose. A sharp gasp echoed from Martha in the kitchen doorway. The room went silent. The 2 other bikers stopped laughing. What was revealed beneath wasn't what Rex expected. Around Anna's neck hung a pair of dog tags, old and scratched. with the name Lieutenant Anna Call etched in steel. Beneath the chain, barely hidden, ran a jagged burn scar across her shoulder and collarbone. A mark of survival, not shame. Rex froze mid-motion, his smirk dying instantly. His eyes darted to the tags, then back to her face. You're military? He stammered, the swagger slipping from his voice. The room was dead silent. Even the humming of the refrigerator seemed to fade. Anna stood there, unflinching now, her eyes like steel. She said, medic. Afghanistan. I patch people up, even the ones who don't deserve it. Her voice carried no anger, no plea, just truth. Rex's jaw worked, but no words came out. His friends looked at each other, their faces pale. One of them, a younger man with tattoos creeping up his neck, whispered hoarsely, "Wait, Rex, her name. Cole. You remember that story? The medic who dragged 2 soldiers out a burning Humvee?" The other nodded, realization dawning. Rex's expression changed, first disbelief, then shame. Anna didn't move, she simply buttoned her shirt back up, calm as the eye of a storm. "You should leave," she said quietly. "You've already spilled enough here." The tension in the room was so thick it could have broken glass. Then, to everyone's shock, Rex stepped back, slow, deliberate. He dropped a 20 on the counter. "Keep the change," he muttered. "And thank you for your service." His voice trembled on the last words. He turned to his men, who followed silently, heads low, as they exited the diner without another word. The bell above the door jingled again, softer this time. Then silence returned. Martha hurried out, eyes wide. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked, her voice shaking. Anna nodded, breathing slowly. "Yeah," she said, forcing a small smile. "Just another night." She bent down to pick up the ripped button from the floor, her hands trembling only slightly. "They won't come back," Martha said. "Not after that." Anna didn't reply. She looked down at the dog tags in her hand, the cold metal pressing against her palm, and whispered, "They never do." Outside, through the window, the roar of motorcycles faded into the distance. Inside, the neon sign buzzed faintly again. The jukebox resumed its song. The world moved on. But something had shifted, not just in the room, but in everyone who had witnessed it. From that night on, no one forgot the sight of the waitress who stood her ground, not with fists, not with rage, but with the quiet strength of a soldier who'd already fought her hardest battles long before a biker ever tried to test her.